Hello my little gremlins, I had an absolutely genius idea earlier today. I wanted to build something in my Minecraft creative world, but I had no idea, so I was thinking I need inspiration from somewhere, and of course I'm not going to be generic and use Pinterest, so I thought why not use a random generated color wheel. I know, never been done before. This is going to work pretty simply. We're going to build a house, but every section of the house is decided by a colour wheel. So we're going to spin for the frame, we're going to spin for the walls, we're going to spin for the roof, and we're going to spin for the windows, and we're all going to get a random colour, and we're just going to see if it works out. It probably won't, but that's the fun of an experimental challenge, right? Without further ado, let's go. I'm not going to waste your time. Here's our colour wheel. It's just a generic one I found on Google. It should get the job done. As you can see, it's shockingly got colours on it. We're going to spin this, and whatever it lands on, we're going to start off building the frame with. So we're spinning for the frame right now. I'm hoping for something like a darker colour. You never want your house to be framed in a light colour. It just makes the inside look, and of course we get light blue. Okay, well, you know what? I was talking. I jinxed it. That was entirely my fault. I am very disappointed. I don't know how I'm going to make this work. I think the best course of action is to start off by getting all of the light blue blocks I can find, and then once I have them all and can look at them, I can decide which one will look best on the frame of a house. Alright, I've got my colours, and out with the ones I've found, I think warped stem is going to be the best for the frame of a house. Now, okay, look, I could understand what you're saying if you think this is more cyan than light blue, because looking at it, even I think it's a little bit more cyan, but quite frankly, it's the only block I have that doesn't look like complete garbage, so it's the one I'm going to use, and if you've got a problem with that, you can leave. I'm joking, please don't leave, please stay. I need the watch time, I need the viewer retention, so just stick around a while, watch this wacky build come together, I beg you. Thank you, love you. Now, the important thing about building a house is you've got to understand what size you're going for. You've got to leave room for walls, windows, and a roof, and other details you might want on there. I'm not going for a mansion of any kind, but I'm not going for a boxy house either. So we're going to add a few rooms on the side. Maybe we can have like a shed, a garage, whatever you want. Maybe even a turret on the side. Something like that to spice it up, you know? Like, I don't want it to be boring. I want this challenge to look somewhat fun and wacky once we're finished with it. I've decided I do indeed want a tower on this house. It's looking a bit side heavy at the minute. It's got this big jutty out room and nothing else on the other side to kind of balance it out. So I'm going to put a tower at the back, make it more appealing to the eye, I guess. I think I'd like a bell up here or some kind of point to it, you know? Maybe we can have a bell tower, we can have a chamber at the top, something. Probably not a chamber, actually. I mean, the tower's quite thin. I don't think I'll fit anything in here, but I'll think of something. Just trust the process, okay? Take a look at the frame. Yeah, that evens it out more, you know? Now it looks less heavy on either side. It actually has more of a flow to it. I'm happy with that. Back on the wheel, and we're spinning for the walls this time, so let's hope we get something that complements blue. Let's have a look. Oh my god, are we gonna get deep purple? Oh no, we're just gonna get normal purple. Boring! I don't think it matters, to be honest. There's only really one shade of purple in Minecraft. I have to be honest though, I'm a little bit hesitant. This frame is very much made of light coloured blocks. If we mix a dark palette in kind of the interior, I don't know, I just don't feel like this is going to flow very well. But you know, like, I've been proved wrong before. I am more than happy to get proved wrong again. I guess that's kind of the point of this as well, to do something that pushes you outside your comfort zone. I'm just going to gather all the purple blocks I can and, you know, we'll have a crack at it. My only concern is this is going to be way too dark for the frame, but I guess that's just something we're going to have to work out as we go. Yeah, see, that just doesn't go. It just doesn't match. Like, we can try it on more sides, or we can find a way to make this work with texturing, maybe. That's why I have all these purple blocks. Maybe we could texture them up into a little pattern. Oh wow, okay, that is a million times better. I don't think I've really understood the value of texturing until today, because that improved the value of this build drastically. Like, even now, like, that's such a small addition, the shulker boxes in the bottom layer, but it just adds so much kind of grit to the build. That's beautiful. Actually, I really do like that. This build might turn out okay yet. Wow, I definitely spoke too soon because I actually really like this. I thought the light frame and the dark walls would kind of clash, but they actually complement each other really, really well. I need to learn more about building because clearly I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not too sure how to texture the tower. I can't really do it in a gradient all the way up because it's too tall, so maybe we could section this off into chunks and gradient each one separately. That might help my little dilemma here. Maybe something like this will look good. Since the warped wood frame has slabs and stairs, I can really use this to my advantage to create a nice detail between the sections. I think that looks okay, and now we're just going to repeat the gradient in a kind of section of 5 blocks up here, and then we're going to do it one last time, so we're going to have 3 sections to this tower. This tower has now got some serious height to it, since we're doing 3 sections of 5. This is going to really be the star of the build, I reckon. We're going to need a pointed roof on here, so I hope we get a colour that has a wood or something with slabs and stairs, so I can really make that spire pop. Nothing like the setting sun on a hard day's work. I'm proud of that, actually. That looks really nice. I'm afraid this is all going to start to look really bad when I add the roof, so I'm just admiring this while I can. Taking its beauty, folks. It might not be here for much longer, at least not in all of its glory. Spinning for the roof now, and I'm praying, hoping, begging for something good. Please don't give me oh my god, we're getting lime. How am I going to make lime work on a purple and blue house? Does bamboo count as lime? It would be very helpful if bamboo counted as lime. I don't think it does. I think this one does, the green one, but I think the actual wood is too yellow to be considered lime. It's just such a bright, vibrant colour. I have no idea how I'm going to make this work. I'm going to take a risk here and try and gradient this into lime. So I'm going to start off with moss, which yes is technically more green, but if I can gradient this into lime at the top, then I'm counting it as lime. The only issue with this is I have very little experience doing gradients, so the chances of this looking good is quite slim. The tower has the smallest roof, so I think if we're going to do this gradient, the best area to practice is up here. Okay, I can use copper, right? At least some of this is lime. Like, this one is lime, right? Like, the waxed oxidized one. This one is somewhat lime. It's lime enough to pass, I think. I hope. Well, I'm going to use it anyway, so I don't really care what you think, but I hope it's lime enough to pass. Yeah, look at that! That's totally lime. Oh, actually, it might be more blue, but you know what? You don't get a say in it. It's going to be lime, regardless. Okay, they're not even close to the same shade, but hey, look, just hear me out, okay? I want to make this build look somewhat good, so just, you know, trust the process. Every tower needs a pointy roof, and I think it's actually quite good for doing gradients on. I can kind of, like, bring it into a point, and with each layer that goes up, I can add a new kind of texture to it. So we can do this with the concrete, and then we can add the wool and the concrete powder at the top. And wow, actually, you know what? That is not bad at all. That looks much better than I imagined. Am I a gradient master or what? Because this looks cool. Let's see if it looks better with the copper. This is my and the penny dropped moment. I think I'm finally at a point in my building style where I can make nonsensical colours look good, and let me tell you, that is a good feeling. We're not out with the woodwork yet though, we got a lot more roofage to do, so, you know, let's not celebrate too early. I have a feeling this one's going to go a little bit smoother though. It's an easier shape, it's just a big triangle. Also, I kind of already know what I'm doing now. I've figured out how to gradient it kinda, so you know what? Call me foolish, but I am feeling confident that this is going to look good. I think I was expecting gradienting to be a little bit more intimidating than this. I mean, I've used it before, but I've never been very good at it, but really, like, it is just the simplest rules apply. It really is just as simple as go from darkest to lightest and blend it with the colours in between. It's really not a hard system, and I don't think I really ever understood that. Gradienting from bamboo to lime concrete is a little bit more challenging because the contrast is a lot bigger. I don't think it's too difficult though. If you follow the same pattern, it still looks okay. It at least looks like it's been done on purpose, which is definitely better than it looking like an accident. I think if I keep up this kind of consistency, it won't look too bad at all. It definitely won't look normal. Like, it's not a house you'd see in a survival world, but it's still going to look like a house, and it's going to look like a house that's built by a person. Another kind of mild concern of mine was, like, what if it looks like it's been built by an AI? Because it's not a normal Minecraft house. It's built with weird colours. It's not got kind of traditional palette. So, I don't know, I was just worried that it might look like it was done by an AI, but it's definitely got that purposeful human touch to it, which I'm very, very happy about. I don't know if any of you have seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but this house is beginning to remind me of something you'd see in Death 13's world from part 3. It follows that neon colour palette and kind of dreamlike aesthetic. That was a complete accident, by the way. I did not mean to make it this way, but I'm actually kind of happy it's turning out that way. It gives it an extra layer of detail. I feel like a proud parent. I've nurtured this build from nothing into the glorious behemoth you see today. Alright, we're spinning for the windows now. Whatever colour this is could either make it or break it, so let's hope for something good. Orange! Deep orange. Okay, that is... okay, well, to be honest, I don't know if there is such a thing as deep orange in Minecraft. I'm just going to count this as orange in general. I'll try and blend it with some red to make it a little bit darker, but in general I think orange is orange, especially when it comes to Minecraft blocks. There's not too much variety in terms of shade. I'm going to use acacia for the windows because it is the closest thing I could find to deep orange, and it has a lot of detailed blocks within its palette. It has stairs, it has slabs, it has fences, it has trapdoors, especially trapdoors. Trapdoors are really good when you want to do windows. I think that's too much though. I don't think that leaves enough space on the wall to appreciate the purple gradient, so I'm actually going to decrease the size of these windows. Ooh, I like that. Kind of like a circular design poking out at the sides. I like that. It's a more unique, and that definitely fits the house. If there's one word I'd use to describe it, it's unique. I think those windows are unique enough to fit on here, and they don't take up too much space. They're definitely not loud enough where they kind of dominate the purple. I like that. I think that's much better than what we had before. I want a porthole window at the top above the door to really welcome you, to really set the scene, and the more I'm building this, the more it looks like a church, which, you know, wasn't the intention, but I'm gonna take it. We can add some more detail with the orange here by using some fence gates as supports underneath the blue. I think that's better, it helps work orange into the palette. I've added some very simple windows around the front, and I think that looks good, at least from a distance. I thought, I thought it would look bad, but the kind of acacia shade of orange, you know, that more deep orange, it doesn't contrast too much with the purple, which I think really does benefit the build actually. I'm going to add some more windows on the watchtower, and then I'm going to add some on the little pokey out bit at the side, and you know, all things considered, that should be us done. There's the windows on the tower. I haven't done them all the way up or on every side, but I think on the sides I have done them on, they look good. Like, I haven't done them on the bottom layer because, I mean, quite frankly, there's not much of a view, but I think where the windows are, they're placed correctly and they look good, so I'm happy enough with that. I'm not actually going to put a window on this last wall, I'm just going to accentuate it with an orange beam instead. I think too much windows and you're going to start losing track of the purple, which is not what I want. I want there to be orange, yeah, like that. That's subtle enough to still look nice without making it feel bland. I'm also going to move one of these windows up a block because, as I said, this house has got a dreamlike aesthetic and I want to lean into that a bit. I think that's nice. I think that really does complement the wackiness of the house, so I'm going to keep it like that. I'm really happy with this house, but I'm not quite ready to call it done just yet. I think we're going to spin for one last thing, and that's going to be the lawn. We're going to spin for a colourful lawn, and that's going to be the last detail that's going to pull this house together. For the lawn, I could go either way. This could either be a dark colour or a light colour, and either way it's going to look good. We're getting yellow? Oh, that's okay, actually. I feel like yellow is going to complement the purple in the house quite nicely. As seems to be the theme with this house so far, I'm going to gradient it from dark to light, starting with the house where the darkest layer is going to be. Not too dark, I'm only going to use yellow terracotta for this, and then we're going to spread out until we eventually get to yellow concrete powder, which is the lightest block I have. Oh, that isn't flattering at all, actually. I didn't really account for the fact that the house looks like it's just wet itself. Maybe if I border this off and just forget about it for a while, it might end up looking okay. I don't want to lawn this out into infinity. I do want to keep the grass in my world, so I'm just going to make a little perimeter, and inside the perimeter I'm going to make it yellow. I've had a lot of fun doing this actually. If you're a builder and you want to improve your skills, I highly recommend something like this. Just let something like a color wheel pick your build and just go with what you have to work with. Don't try and force something that's not gonna happen. Just make what you can at your disposal. It kind of forces you to be creative, forces you to be imaginative, forces you to use tools like gradients and texturing, and I think that's a good skill for a builder to have, you know? So genuinely, like, if you want to improve your building skills, a challenge like this is not a bad way to do it. And we are done. What a build this turned out to be. It's not the biggest house, it's not the prettiest house, but it's my house, and that means something. And my god, it looks like it was just taken from an alien world and dropped into this one. I really like how it's so jarring against everything else. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you all very much for watching me ramble and build a crazy house. Thank you very much for watching. I love each and every single one of you. Goodbye. Subscribe.